If you own a home, I guarantee that your mortgage payment is your largest monthly expense. And honestly, how great would it feel to pay off that mortgage so much faster, as well as saving a lot more money? Don't worry, because in this video, I will be going over exactly how you can do that. But honestly, if I was able to pay off my monthly mortgage of $1,600 a month in the next 10 to 12 years, this would open up so many more doors to be able to start saving for my kids' college, start investing more of the money I make, increase my quality of life, or just be able to eat out with today's prices. All jokes aside, if you have a 30-year mortgage, even though you are paying towards it and the debt is decreasing on that loan, you will always have the same exact payment. That's why in this video, I will be going over how to pay off your mortgage so much faster, if it makes sense to you, how you will save so much money, and how to put yourself in a position to do this. Warning though, this is not a hack or a quick trick. This is an actionable plan that will help you achieve your goals so much faster. And it's going to take hard work and sacrifice. But just like my man Jerry Rice said, today I will do what others won't, so tomorrow I can accomplish what others can't. Gosh, I love that quote. So first, let's understand how the mortgage works. You have your principal and you have your interest, and together these two make up your mortgage payment every single month. And your mortgage payment should be a fixed amount, meaning that you have a fixed interest rate, and every single month you can expect to pay the same amount. Hopefully you have when buying a primary home. So let's just say we purchased a property for $350,000 at 6% interest rate. This is what the numbers would look like. Your monthly principal and interest would be $2,134.81. As you can see, the interest paid and the principal paid throughout the loan changes each month. They're never going to be the same, but it always equals $2,134.81. The reason that is, from my experience of owning 3 homes and the 2 minutes of research I actually did to look this up, since the principal amount owed on the property is still high at purchase, this is deemed risky for you to default or not pay your loan. So what the bank does is they collect the interest up front. So the first half of your loan is going to be majority paid towards your interest and less paid towards your principal. But every single time that you actually pay your monthly mortgage, the amount applied to your interest will decrease a little bit in your monthly mortgage payment, and the amount to the principal will increase just a little bit, as you can see here. I hope that makes sense. Now, the first strategy that you can use to pay off your mortgage so much faster is so easy to apply, and it drastically takes off years of your mortgage. This is to make bi-weekly payments. So instead of making a one-time payment every single month and paying off your mortgage in full, you would make bi-weekly payments, which is every 2 weeks. Now you might be thinking, what does that even do? But it does a lot more than what you would think. Let's go back to the example that we had previously and compare the just singular monthly payment versus the bi-weekly payment method that I just talked about. Okay, so as you can see on the left here, you have your current and your current plus extra payment, but we have no extra payment put in right now. And then on the right, you have your bi-weekly and your bi-weekly plus extra, which again, we don't have extra payments in right now. So if you look on the left-hand column for current, your monthly mortgage is $2,134.84. You pay that one time per month, and you'll end up paying 30 years of that payment. And as you look at the bottom, equity after 5 years would be about $21,000, and equity after 10 years would be $51,000. Now, if you look over to the bi-weekly payments, this means that your mortgage payment every 2 weeks would be $1,067.40. You would cut down the amount of time that you would have to pay this mortgage 5 years and 10 months. So it says that you'd only have to pay 24.2 years. The interest savings that you would have saved would have been about $100,000. You eliminated about 70 payments, which is insane. Your total savings is roughly $150,000. And if you compare the equity over 5 years, it would be about $34,000 instead of the 21. And after 10 years, it would be about $81,000 instead of the 51. So as you can see, just by making payments every 2 weeks versus just one time per month, it will drastically decrease how much you owe on your mortgage, the time you save on it, and so many more benefits. And you might be thinking, how does that work? But if you think about it, bi-weekly does not mean 2 times per month. Bi-weekly means every 2 months, which at the end of the year, if you pay every 2 weeks, ends up being roughly about 13 mortgage payments, when in a typical year, you'd only have to pay 12. So with that being said, you are basically paying an extra mortgage payment every single year that gets applied straight to the principal and decreases your interest. And you don't notice it as much because it's spread over multiple payments. So right off the bat, you saved a lot of money and you saved about 6 years of having to pay a monthly mortgage. Now it's time to make a goal with yourself and decide how much extra payments can I apply to my mortgage every single month. Now don't start freaking out if you aren't in a position to make those extra payments right now. At the end of this video, I'll be going over different ways you can restructure your debt. That way you can make the extra payments. When you pay extra payments on top of utilizing the first strategy, they will get applied straight to your principal, which means it pays down your principal and you save on interest. Now this step may get a little tricky because you'll have to weigh the investment of what you save on your mortgage payments over time with the money that you're putting towards it versus if you could put that money that you're applying to your mortgage somewhere else, invest it, and get a better return on investment. But that's for another time. But let's go in and start making adjustments to our mortgage. That way you can see how much being applied as extra payments can really help out paying off your mortgage faster. Okay, so let's say that you're already doing strategy number 1, which is biweekly payments, and then you're going to put an extra $250 per month towards your mortgage. We go down and see the results, the biweekly plus the extra payment. Your monthly mortgage, so every 2 weeks, you're going to spend about $1,192. But the years to pay off, it cuts it down to 19 years. So you were at 30, you applied the first strategy to 24.2 years, and now you're at 19 years until you pay off your mortgage, almost cutting off that 30-year mortgage in half. The interest you're going to save is about $180,000, and the payments eliminated is $132,000. Just after 5 years, the equity in your property is going to be about $53,000. And after 10 years, your equity is going to be about $130,000. It's absolutely insane. So you know what? Let's go ahead and change it. Let's say we can put maybe $500 a month extra that you can apply to your mortgage payment instead of the $200. If you go down, let's go down, and you can see that that cuts it down to 15.8 years. 15.8 years until you pay off that mortgage. That's literally cutting your mortgage in half. That's insane. The interest you would have saved is roughly $230,000. And the total savings over the whole course of the loan is $363,000. Equity after 5 years would be $72,000, and the equity after 10 years would be about $172,000. Now, lastly, after doing your biweekly payments and extra mortgage payments, after a couple of years, you're going to gain a lot of equity inside of your house, like I said in that last example. This last option is to refinance, meaning pull out a brand new mortgage on the debt that you have on that property existing, meaning let's say that you paid off $150,000 of your mortgage. If you go to refinance at that lower debt, that means that your monthly mortgage payment is going to be a lot less if you get a good interest rate on it. But obviously in Q4 of 2023, the rates are ridiculous and are hovering around 7%. But when the rates drop back down, eventually it's going to be a great opportunity to refinance, even if it's at a little bit higher interest rate to what you initially got, if you have a lot of equity inside of your house. And what you would do is take the difference between your first mortgage payment and your second mortgage payment and apply that on top of your already extra payments in order to pay off that mortgage so much faster. Another option is refinancing into a 15-year loan instead of a 30-year loan. The payment will be higher, but it may still be under your first initial mortgage payment. And that way you can put extra payments towards it and you will pay it off that much faster. I know that was a lot, but by refinancing your property at a lower interest rate with lower debt, it's going to lower your mortgage payment, which allows you to put more money towards it and pay it off faster. But just make sure to run the numbers and make sure that it makes sense before going through with it. Look, at the end of the day, your bank is counting on you to pay the monthly mortgage payments so they can collect a ton of interest off of you. That's how they make their money, is by charging you that crazy amount of interest. But don't let that happen. Take these strategies and apply them. That way you pay them off so much faster and you save your hard-earned money. But if you aren't in a position right now to pay extra monthly payments, let me tell you a couple of ways that you can do that and restructure your debt. The first is creating a list of all of your debts and monthly payments. That way you have a firm understanding of what your money's going towards every single month and start cutting things off, such as Hulu, maybe some gaming expenses if you're into that, maybe cutting down how many times you go out to eat. After you create that list, you'll be able to realize how much money is going where and where you can cut down on. Now, the second one ties into the first, but creating a budget and sticking with it. Now, the one thing you want to be is realistic with it. Instead of trying to go crazy right off the get-go, you want to make sure that you can actually stick to this budget. That way you can make your payments towards the loan. Next, you figure out your expenses. Now it's time to maybe make a little bit more income. Can you work a second job? Can you ask the job that you're already working for a raise? Is there a possibility that you can apply to other jobs using your experience and getting a higher paid job? If you like this video, or hopefully it provided you value, I greatly appreciate it if you give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.